Okay, this next video is on exponent laws and monomials. First question, I'm looking for common bases. So we have A's and B's as bases. So we're going to multiply the A's together first. That becomes A to the 8 plus 2. I just used our sum or add addition rule. And B to the 5 plus 3 is 8. Final answer, A10, B8. Or A to the 10 times B to the 8. Next question. As I'm scanning through this, I see a pesky little 2 right here. This is the place where I'd like you to be careful because you're squaring everything inside this bracket. Let's start with the top. We'll simplify the top and then we'll simplify the bottom as well. So simplifying the top, I see p squared times p to the 8, that's p to the 10. Q to the 7 plus, oh, there's no q. I guess it's just q to the 7. And r to the 9 plus 3 is 12. Divided by. Now, this is where people get messed up sometimes. P to the 3, but squared, is p to the 6. Q to the 1, but squared, is q squared. And r to the 8, 4 times 2 is 8. I just used the multiplication rule there. Last rule we need to use, when we're dividing powers with the same base, we need to subtract the exponents. So this is p to the 4, q to the 5, and r to the 4. All done. Okay, next one, C. So again, I see a pesky 3 right here. That 3 applies only to this bracket, x squared y to the 5th. So I have to figure that out and simplify that first before I can do anything else. I'm going to leave this to the last thing. I'm not going to multiply anything with that 10 until the very last step. So I want to simplify everything in here first. This becomes x to the 6, y to the 15. What did I just do to get 6 and 15? 2 times 3, 5 times 3. Times x to the 11, y to the negative 4, all raised to the 10. Okay, looking better. Let's keep simplifying inside this big square bracket now. X to the 6 times x to the 11 is x to the 17. Y to the 15, y to the negative 4. When you multiply those, you get y to the 11. 15 plus negative 4 is 11. Raised to the 10. And so all together, this becomes x to the 17 times 10, or 170, y to the 11 times 10, or 110. Done. All right, we're not going to make a hypothesis because this isn't a lesson in class. I'll tell you what the answer is to this first one. This is 2a to the 7 times 3a squared. We need to multiply those coefficients together to give us 6a to the, but we have 2 powers of a. 7 plus 2 makes 9. That first question is 6a to the 9. Second question. Let's multiply these two brackets together using our power rules. 9 times 4 is 36. P to the 10 times p squared is p to the 12. Q to the 7 times q3 is q10, divided by 12p5 q4. 36 divided by 12 gives you 3. p12 divided by p5 is p to the 7. And q10 divided by q4 is q to the 6. All done. That one you may want to pause and go over again. I went through that very quickly, I know. All right, here's the next one. Most people would think, okay, the answer to this question, 5x to the 4 cubed, is 5x to the 12, right? That makes sense. 4 times 3 is 12, no problem. However, that's wrong. Don't do that. You have to remember that 5x to the 4 is the base, and so what this really means is 5x to the 4 times 5x to the 4 times 5x to the 4 3 times. You take that base and multiply by itself 3 times. Well, that really is then 5 cubed, or 125x to the 12. So don't forget that 3 applies to the 5 and to the power inside. Don't forget to cube the 5. That's 125. Okay? Quickly, D and E. D. I'm not going to deal with this 4. That'll be last. That's the last thing I want to deal with. So I'm going to figure out and simplify the inside of this bracket first. And I get 5 times 2 is 10. A9 times A squared is A11. B7 times B cubed is B10. All raised to the 4. Now I can raise everything to the 4th power. But remember, the 10 is also being raised to the 4th power. What's 10 to the 4? Well, that's just 1 with 4 zeros after it, or 10,000. A to the 11 to the 4 is A to the 44. We multiplied 11 times 4. And B to the 40. 10 times 4 is 40. Good. Last example. 10 times negative 4 is negative 40. P to the 5 times P to the 9 is P to the 14. You got it. And Q to the 11 plus 2? 13. Excellent work. Divided by 2p and q times q, cubed, raised to the 4th power. Oh, another tricky one. We got to make sure we figure that out. But don't forget to raise 2 to the 4th power. 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, 4 times, is 16. P to the 4, q to the 12. Okay? Negative 40 divided by 16 is negative 2.5. P 14 raised to the 14 divided by P to the 4 is P to the 10. 14 minus 4 is 10. And Q to the 1, but I don't need to write the 1, so that's it. That's my final answer for that one. I hope this helps with exponent laws and monomials. Try your homework. It's on the back side of that sheet. And we'll take the rest up on Thursday when I see you next. Okay? Good luck tonight, guys.